Is he? What does he believe? Remember I talked about philosophy.
Yeah.
Everything starts out with your philosophy, and everybody has a philosophy of life, even if they don't know it. You have a way you view reality. You have a way you believe things are.
Yep.
And how they should be.
Yep.
You could talk to the dumbest person in the world, and they have a philosophy. They don't know it, but they live it.
Yep.
Paul Ryan has a philosophy, too. And most people have influences. Depends who your influences are. The greatest influence in Paul Ryan's life has been a woman. Not his mommy. A Russian woman. A Russian woman. Who was an author of a few books. And she had a philosophy she developed herself. Ayn Rand. First name A-Y-N. Pronounced Ayn Rand. Very controversial figure, but she has been a mover and shaker as far as philosophy goes. She's dead now. She died in the 80s.
Yeah.
As far as the right wing of the Republican Party goes, the conservative movement, she has been a person they have quoted and looked to, and most Americans are totally unaware of this. And she has been the driving mechanism in Paul Ryan's life and his philosophy and why he came up with the type of budget plan he did. It's based upon her philosophy. You don't believe me? Listen to the man's words
It doesn't surprise me that sales of the Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged have surged lately with the Obama administration coming in. Because it's that kind of thinking, that kind of writing that is sorely needed right now. And I think a lot of people would observe that we are right now living in an Ayn Rand novel, metaphorically speaking. But more to the point is this. The issue that is under assault, the attack on democratic capitalism, on individualism and freedom in America, is an attack on the moral foundation of America. And Ayn Rand, more than anyone else, did a fantastic job of explaining the morality of capitalism, the morality of individualism. And this, to me, is what matters most. It is not enough to say that President Obama's taxes are too big or the health care plan doesn't work for this or that policy reason. It is the morality of what is occurring right now and how it offends the morality of individuals working toward their own free will to produce, to achieve, to succeed, that is under attack. And it is that what I think Ayn Rand would be commenting on, which we need that kind of comment more and more than ever.
There is Congressman Ryan, Paul Ryan, now the VP pick of Mitt Romney, to head up the GOP ticket. That is him speaking of Ayn Rand and her philosophy. And he said morality. So he's basing it on how his morals are set. Individualism, capitalism, against collectivism. Collectivism is there's a collective idea, and it's concerning all people. All people's good. No, that shouldn't be. It should be about the individual's good. Not about the whole country's good as a people, but individual first. Your individual good, your individual happiness, she taught, is supreme. And in fact, caring about one another is weakness and evil. Let's hear from Ayn Rand herself in an interview with Mike Wallace, now deceased too.
I agree with the facts, but not the estimate of this criticism. Namely, if I am challenging the base of all these institutions, I'm challenging the moral code of altruism, the precept that man's moral duty is to live for others, that man must sacrifice himself to others, which is the present-day morality.
What do you mean by sacrifice himself for others? Now we're getting to the point.
One moment. Since I'm challenging the base, I necessarily would challenge the institutions, you name it, which are a result of that morality.
All right.
And now what is self-sacrifice?
Yes, what is self-sacrifice? You say that you do not like the altruism by which we live. You like a certain kind of Ayn Randist selfishness.
I would say that I don't like is too weak a word. I consider it evil. And self-sacrifice is the precept that man needs to serve others in order to justify his existence, that his moral duty is to serve others. That is what most people believe today.
Well, yes, we're taught to feel concerned for our fellow man, to feel responsible for his welfare, to feel that we are, as religious people might put it, children under God and responsible one for the other. Now, why do you rebel? What's wrong with this philosophy?
But that is what, in fact, makes man a sacrificial animal. That man must work for others, concern himself with others, or be responsible for them. That is the role of a sacrificial object. I say that man is entitled to his own happiness and that he must achieve it himself, but that he cannot demand that others give up their lives to make him happy. And nor should he wish to sacrifice himself for the happiness of others.
That you should be seeking after your own, everybody should be seeking after their own, and this philosophy of caring for one another and loving one another,
it's stupid.
Yeah, it is. And can't you see this?
It's people like her that would set this species back decades.
But can't you see that as seeped into politics and philosophy in this country? Put yourself first, your happiness first. This kind of caring about your fellow man, caring about your fellow American. Hey, if you could make more money shipping the jobs to China, so what? You're screwing your fellow American. You're making more money. You're making yourself happy. That's first. You don't worry about other people and their happiness.
So what if the country goes to hell in a handbasket? As long as you have your money and as long as you have your tax shelter and as long as
that's the
you have
goal
your
of
mansion
your life.
And your yacht and your 3 mistresses, who gives a shit, right?
That's right. That's your prime goal of life, to make yourself happy. This collectivism about caring about society and people you don't know is ridiculous. It's not logical. It doesn't make sense, and you don't do it. And this has been the driving force, Ayn Rand's philosophy, in the life of Paul Ryan. Now, recently,